Right now, Congressman Sean Duffy, who is a Republican from Wisconsin, joins me, and will remember that in October, the congressman endorsed Marco Rubio for president. Sir, good to see you.
Good to see you, Thomas. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. So we've got mixed reviews for Marco Rubio and the performance he put in last night. We have Bloomberg's Mark Halpern giving him a B for the effort, saying clearly he had Cruz on his mind but never found a way to bring his rival down. A mostly solid performance by normal standards, but not up to the level he's achieved in previous debates. Do you think that Marco Rubio is getting better or worse as he's going through this process?
Well, I think Mark Halpern was a little bit unfair. If you're going to be a strong candidate, you have to look to present your ideas to the American people. You just can't chase. From it has a long game, and in the end, if he continues to talk about our economy, his hopeful message, he talks about securing the homeland, economic growth and immigration, in the end he's going to win. And I don't think he has to attack Donald Trump to go from a B to an A. I think you talk about your ideas to the American people, and that's how you actually win. But if you look at the exchanges that took place, I thought Marco Rubio came across incredibly strong on the national security front, as well as Chris Christie did. I think you see Ted Cruz trying to position himself in whatever the political winds are of the day. I mean, he was opposed to the metadata program when it was politically expedient, and the libertarians had the ear of the American people. But now that we've had some terrorist attacks, now he wants to be a hawk on these issues. On immigration, Marco Rubio has been consistent. I mean, I think it's important. Americans, if you secure the border, so we know who's coming in and out of the country, they're willing to deal with people fairly, the people in my community that milk the cows in our farms in Wisconsin, to give them a shot to stay here. Not citizenship, not amnesty, but the ability to stay. So Marco's been consistent, whether it's been good or bad politically. Ted Cruz will from one position to the next to meet the political winds of the day.
So, Congressman, I want to just play a clip for everybody. Last night, obviously, a lot of candidates took it from all sides, but Marco Rubio did take incoming fire from a lot of different directions. I want to remind everybody. Take a look.
So Marco can't have it both ways. He thinks he wants to be this, oh, I'm great and strong on national defense, but he's the weakest of all the candidates on immigration.
For Marco to suggest our record's the same, it is like suggesting the fireman and the arsonist have the same record because they're both at the scene of the fire.
So does Marco Rubio have a history of working with people across the aisle, like a Chuck Schumer, and that's his Achilles heel, the fact that he's willing to try to move forward with bipartisan legislation?
So I'll get to that in 1 second. Character is built by a guy who can take incoming attacks and address them effectively, and I think that's what Marco did last night. If you're going to be effective as a legislator, whether you're in the House or the Senate or you're the president, you have to be able to work with people who have different ideas than you do, and Marco has done that pretty well. But when we talk about national security and immigration, make no mistake that Marco has been incredibly strong on the border. I mean, we have to know who's coming in and out of the country. And there's been no gray area with Marco in respect to that. What you do with people who are here, who have been here for 8, 10, 12 years, who have been contributing members of our society, we know who they are, we have information on them, and they're not going to do us harm. That's a completely different story, and I think Ted Cruz was trying to conflate those two and make it seem like a weakness. But actually, I think it's a strength, not just in the primary, but with the general electorate, that he has such a common sense position that secures the homeland, but deals with people fairly who have come without documentation.
Congressman Sean Duffy of Wisconsin, thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Nice to